All right, Bill, if you don't want your child bride brought up during interviews, do not bring your child bride to said interviews. They're eating the dogs, Kieran, in Tuscaloosa.
They're eating the
dogs. You know that?
They were
They're
eating
the dogs.
Oh, a meth raccoon.
Yeah.
Just awful. There is nothing good about this. It's the worst possible scenario for the CFP, for the national championship.
Notre Dame is a mid-program with really good marketing.
And the Michigan players are going to look at that, and anybody who's committing to Michigan in the next years will just go, I want to beat them even more. Like, I wanted to beat them when I first came to the school. Recruits are going to see this.
And we're also sorry that you have to watch a Brian Kelly coach football team. We can only imagine how difficult that must be for you, knowing that you're not going to win a big game ever with him as your coach, and that you're rooting for a child murderer.
This podcast has gone off to a really weird start, but I like it.
I love it, though. I'm a big fan. We are back with... When we first introduced these big topics, this is the one I was most excited for. We're doing the SEC's history tonight, but first we do have some news to get through. Before we get into that, Kieran, how are you doing?
I'm doing all right, but I'm a bit peeved after the draft and all this Shedeur Sanders nonsense. Like, I know we're a college football podcast. The draft is part of that. We haven't really harped on it, but I feel like this year it has to be different.
Yeah. No, it was something, and we'll get into that. Mel Kiper needs to get off my TV forever. But first, Kieran, we need to check on the safety of one of our own. Our own being people from New England, the college football world. Is Bill Belichick safe?
Right. Probably not.
Does he need an adult?
I don't know the answer to that, because for years he's been the, I guess there's no other word for it, the speak softly but carry a big stick sort of coach. Sure, he had his flare-ups whenever he was with the Patriots, but he's always been like a reasonably responsible dude, both on and off the field. This seems like it's a new level.
Yeah, and he was very much don't be a distraction, don't bring distractions into the office. Now he was people at UNC concerned about how their program's looking. For those who did not see, he gave, willingly it seems, an interview to CBS to promote his new book. And his girlfriend, his child bride, was there. And at one point they asked him, how did you guys meet? The story is on a plane. Seems that's not how they met. She stormed off at one point, delaying the interview for 30 minutes. Bill Belichick has put out a statement saying, I agreed to speak with CBS Sunday morning to promote my new book, The Art of Winning, Lessons from My Life in Football. Prior to this interview, I clearly communicated with my publicist at Simon & Schuster that any promotional interviews I participated in would agree to focus solely on the contents of the book. Unfortunately, that expectation was not honored during the interview. I was surprised when unrelated topics were introduced, and I repeatedly expressed to the reporter, Tony DeCouple, and the producers that I preferred to keep the conversation centered on the book. After this occurred several times, Jordan, with whom I share both personal and professional relationship, stepped in to reiterate that point to help refocus the discussion. All right, Bill, if you don't want your child bride brought up during interviews, do not bring your child bride to said interviews.
Yeah. Agreed. Point blank.
It's
also,
not that.
Don't say child bride, because that gives off the completely wrong connotation.
That gives off the connotation I'm trying to put off.
All right. I mean, there is an age gap, but she is a fully functioning adult that has a fully developed frontal lobe. So, I mean...
does she? She's 24, right?
Whether she's using it or not, she is well above the age where we would consider her an adult.
Well, no, I'm not questioning if she's an adult. I'm questioning the fully functioning frontal lobe. Don't they say it does not fully develop until 25?
Yeah, but by 18, you're pretty much there.
That's fair. And And now there's reports going on. UNC is not happy about this. Albert Breer on, I think, NBC Sports Boston said Bill Belichick is now a joke across the NFL because of this. And it's just not great. Have you seen any of the conspiracy theories about this?
I haven't. No, lay it on me.
People are thinking and putting out there that she's a high-end escort, and that's how they met. And I'm very curious what type of Bill has racked up at this point.
That's a great one. I like that.
I did not mean to do that, and then halfway through the sentence, I was like, I don't know how else to put this. So it's kind of insane. I can't wait to see Jordan on the UNC sidelines this season calling the defense. What do you think she runs? Do you think she's a 4-3 or a 3-4 gal?
I'd say she's 3-4. I don't know what it is about it. I think oh my God, I can't say that. All right, moving on. I was going to say more coverage in the back. But that can be misconstrued so many different ways.
No, again, I think it's exactly how you're trying to put it.
Yeah.
All right, you want to move on to the draft, Kiernan?
Yeah, let's do that.
All right. Mel Kiper needs to go in a hole somewhere and never come out.
Yeah.
I saw some people on Twitter saying kind of, hey, if he didn't do this at like in the 1980s, there's no way he would be allowed on television now. He made Reese Davis, the calmest person ever, lose his mind.
Mm-hmm.
And my wife even said during it, because Mel Kiper would not shut the hell up about Shedeur Sanders, well, we just missed the next 4 guys' names being called or the attention being on them, so Mel Kiper could lose his mind.
I know. It's absolutely ridiculous childish behavior. I mean, talk about a non-developed frontal lobe. Holy crap. This is arguably the biggest night of these guys' lives. Okay? They've officially made it. All of those years, the 18 to 21 plus years of their lives have led to this moment. And you are taking it away because you are having a temper tantrum on TV. Utterly ridiculous.
Yeah, no, it's insane. And I'm looking for the list that went around because, all right, that's fine. Mel Kiper went on his rant. Like, oh, the NFL has been clueless about evaluating quarterbacks in the last 50 years. They don't know what they're doing. Neither does Mel Kiper.
Yeah.
Top 5 draft eligible quarterbacks from 2017. Now that is the Deshaun Watson, Patrick Mahomes draft.
Mm-hmm.
Can you guess who he had as the top draft eligible quarterback?
Oh, I think I saw this list. Hold on. I can't remember off the top of my head.
Mitch Trubisky, who did go second overall.
Yeah.
So some people did sort of agree with him. Can you guess who he had as the second best draft eligible? Deshaun Kaiser from Notre Dame.
Who?
Notre Dame played for the Browns.
No, you're supposed to say exactly.
Yeah, that's fair. Number 3, Deshaun Watson.
Train wreck,
but early on it looked like
fair.
Him and Mahomes, you're going to look back and go, that's great. Number 4, Luke Falk from Washington State. Number 5, Patrick Mahomes. Another one, top quarterbacks from whatever year, 1991. Dan McGuire from San Diego State at number 1.
Oof.
Brett Favre at number 2.
In fairness, that's pretty good.
Yes, but having him after Dan McGuire and then the rest, Browning, Nagel from Louisville, Todd Marinovich from USC, and Scott Zolak from Maryland. I just wanted to bring that up because Scott Zolak. And my favorite Mel Kiper quote ever. If Jimmy Clausen is not a successful quarterback in the NFL, I'm done. That's it. I'm out. What is your time frame? When do you make that assessment? I want 8 years. Well, Jimmy Clausen was drafted like 15 years ago. So, Mel, so happy that you're no longer going to be on my TV because as you said, you're going to retire.
Thank goodness.
Any other thoughts on the draft?
Oh, loads. I understand the hype around Shedeur Sanders, and I, as well as you, found it hilarious how far he dropped. And we were actually messaging back and forth earlier as the draft was happening. I said, next week's draft is just us laughing uninterrupted for 30 seconds and then just cutting the fees, which I thought was a great idea. But alas, we actually have topics to cover. To that end, way too much. Like, I get it. It's funny to see him sink so far down. Twitter was having an absolute field day with that one. That was great. I want to really bring up the whole prank call crap that went on with Jax Ulbrich. I think that's how you pronounce his last name. The son of defensive coordinator for the Falcons, Jeff Ulbrich, about the prank call. Get over it. Get over it, Jax. Unapologize. Do not stoop to that level of just cowardice. It's not on you either. It's on both your dad and the Falcons as an organization. So what? You got your hands on the phone that was only given out to NFL teams. Who cares? Way, way more important stuff gets leaked every single day. You are not that important. Grow up. And then on top of that, for the NFL to lay a fine on the Falcons of $250K and Ulbrich himself for $100K, it's like, what are we doing? This is the pettiest thing I've ever heard. Cooper DeJean got prank called 6 times last year. It happened.
A lot of guys got prank called this year too.
A lot of guys do. It just get over it. It's so childish. I feel like we're reverting to the absolute lowest common denominator in terms of like, oh, that's mean, like a first grader telling somebody else not to push people over. Yeah, they shouldn't do it, but it's funny when they do because these people are adults and they just have fun.
I disagree. I think fining.
Get off.
I think this is complete bull. I think this is not good. It's not funny. Now, Shedeur, it was kind of funny. Everyone else, it was not funny. It happened to a lot of guys this year. And even Shedeur, I don't think it was funny. This is what they have worked their entire lives. It's the culmination of their entire life's work. And they're being mocked. And I did see some people saying, Jax should be fined by the NFL. What are you talking about? He's not an employee of the league. That you can't do that to a random person. Otherwise, Roger Goodell would be fining me for things I've said about him on Twitter. But I think fining Jeff for being loose-lipped sink ships, as they said in World War II. And then the Falcons for also not kind of putting out a protocol in place and all that. I saw some people saying Jeff Ulbrich should be fired. I don't know if I'd go that far, but at the same time, if another career field had a leak like that and it caused something like this, they would most likely be out of a job.
I couldn't disagree more. I think it's funny. I'm sorry. It's funny that there is a bit of a caveat between Mel Kiper throwing a fit on national television, ruining guys' names being called. That's one thing. That's bad. I think we can all agree. But in the background, getting a prank call about something is objectively funny. Okay? Yeah, it sucks for those guys. They work their tails off. Yeah, it's very annoying. But I'm sorry, it's objectively funny. For the Falcons to have a protocol in place before this happened is ridiculous because according to what I've seen, all Jax did was look on the list. Like his dad had a PDF or a Word doc file open and he saw Shedeur Sanders' name and number there. And so he's like, oh, I'm going to take this real quick, which is it's fine. It happens. But there is no way in hell that there's no way in hell that the Falcons would have a protocol in place before an incident like this happened. They're going to have one now, but there was no chance that anybody thought, oh, yeah, this is what's going to happen this one time.
And that's a massive issue on its own. Kieran, I have a question.
Yeah.
I don't know if you're this kind of engineer, but you're an engineer.
Mm-hmm.
Let's say you build something
mm-hmm.
and it collapses. Does your work have a protocol for how to deal with that?
Yeah.
But it hasn't happened, so why would they need it?
Oh, it happens all the time. It happens
to you specifically.
To me specifically, no. But
I think they should have had rules saying, hey, you can't let anyone see this. You can't show this to anyone. You can't tell this to anyone. It's in a password protected, secure PDF. You need to be VPN into the Atlanta Falcons system to even look at. And if we find it on a personal computer or elsewhere, you will be fired. If it leaks and you are the reason, you will be fired. I think not having a plan in place for this is insane. And I also think it's a symptom of a larger issue, in my opinion, that people don't view professional athletes as people. I think Jaron Duran for the Boston Red Sox, and I'm not bringing up what happened in Cleveland last week. That's, I think, a little too serious for what we're talking about. But he's kind of said, yeah, sometimes you feel like an animal at a zoo because these people pay to watch you play and think they can do whatever they want. And NBA players, it happens to them all the time. These are still people. Yes, they're making so much money, and I understand that is part of the disconnect. But it's what the market will pay them. They're making this money off of their work and their ability to do a job. They're not making this money because they're sitting up somewhere while other people do all the work and they're just getting billions of dollars. So that could be part of it. I don't want to say sympathetic, empathetic to that. I think objectively you're right. It is kind of funny, but I think going a little bit deeper into it, it's not good.
Yeah. I mean, that's fine. I just think to your point about the baseball player Durant, I think there is a disconnect with the amount of money being made by these people, and that fans go to these events and expect entertainment. And if they don't, and you've had a couple of brews on you, you could potentially make your own fun. That side is bad because, these guys are, you want your team to win or you want the other team to lose. So you actively interfere with the game being played. And yeah, that's one thing that kind of needs to stop. But, this isn't a game. Like the draft isn't a game. It's not like sure, you have your you're like people getting called and guys waiting around to have their names called and things like that. But it's not like it's going to damage them in a way that they can't perform like when they play in this season opener. So it's annoying, it's shitty, but like I have to say, with all the pomp and circumstance around Shedeur, it is objectively funny.
I think spending I don't even know how much, a couple $100,000 on a draft room and then going in the 5th round and then being like on a live stream, I'm not doing music anymore. I'm focusing on football, and then going to a club like a day later.
Yeah.
Hilarious.
Hypocrite.
Yeah. And I think part of the reason he fell is there were legitimate concerns about his play.
Mm-hmm.
He held on to the ball too long. His arm wasn't great. He didn't have, and I said this to a lot of people, he didn't have the traits that if you're falling out of the 1st round, you need those traits or to be a really good guy people want in your locker room. Mm-hmm. Or both. Jalen Milroe had those traits, went before Shedeur. Tyler Shuck, people are thinking he could step in just because he's older and he gets the ball out quick. Dylan Gabriel, cannon arm, traits. Shedeur Sanders does not have those traits. He's pretty average at most things.
Mhm.
And no one wants him in their locker room. If they're a first-round talent and they're a star, you'll deal with that. You'll deal with the locker room headache. If they're your backup, no, they don't want that distraction. It's why Tim Tebow flamed out of the league and it wasn't a backup. It's very common that this happens. When Kaepernick, for another example, guy who maybe he could have been a backup, but people didn't want that. They did not want that quote-unquote distraction, not saying anything about what their beliefs were and why they were that distraction, but that's sort of how it was. And I think I don't know. I don't want to see Shedeur necessarily fail, but I think this was important for his development. I think not getting an agent was a mistake. He was only listening to his father, who was acting as his agent. His father going out and saying, like, "Oh yeah, no, if we don't like what a team's doing, I'm going to have a talk with them." Why would a coach want that?
Yeah, it's unneeded.
Absurd. And also, Kevin Stefanski and the Browns GM during the pick was hilarious because it was very much the owner came in and said, "We have to take him."
And I mean, the Browns QB room is just chaos.
It
is
packed.
chaos. It's packed and it's chaos. I cannot wait for OTAs to be in.
Does Shedeur make the roster?
No. I'm just gonna say it now. I don't care if I'm wrong, but no.
Yeah. No, that'd be hilarious.
Yeah. I mean, it would be the icing on this very particularly large cake that he gets drafted in the 5th round by a team that already has an absolute overloaded QB room, only to not even make it and slip to like the Tennessee Titans practice squad. That would be hilarious.
Yeah, I think overall he's probably the second best quarterback on their roster, but they don't want to keep that around for second best.
Like you said, it's the distractions. It's unneeded. You can get somebody who is as are on an equal footing as Shedeur and just not have that excess, prime time behind you.
Yeah, and I saw something else. It was talking about how Shedeur had 4,000 passing yards, complete 74% of his passes, was the Johnny Unitas Award winner. And like, oh, it's a shame. Like, how could it's collusion? That's how did he fall so far? The league is trying to keep Gardner Minshew down. So, the problem is Gardner Minshew's kind of a psychopath too. He wanted to break his hand with a hammer to get another year of eligibility. But when it comes to football, he does not cause a distraction. He does not rile people up. He's fine. Nobody is excited going into a Sunday with Gardner. Coaches are not excited going into a Sunday with a Gardner Minshew. I love it. But
fans certainly are. When I find out that he's playing, I actively change the channel to see him play. That's not a word of a lie.
Gotta love the shoe. Any other draft thoughts outside of Shedeur?
No, not really. I mean, it was solid. I was happy to see where the Penn State guys. Well, I'm not totally happy to see where the Penn State guys went, but I know that. Oh my God, I've forgotten the Eagles GM.
Howie Roseman.
Thank you. I was about to say Howie Mandel. I was thinking that's not at all correct. Yes, Howie Roseman. There was a bunch of memes, especially in the Philly area for Twitter, that's like watching a Penn State guy get drafted to the Giants, Howie Roseman, after their rookie contract runs out and just like heart eyes popping out of his head.
Have we also considered the fact that Howie Roseman is clearly an addict and we need to get him help?
Yeah, probably.
The man needs to make a trade.
Yeah, he does.
The 32nd overall pick, and he calls up Andy Reid. He's like, "Hey, I'm jonesing, man. Give me a trade. Let me trade up one spot."
Oh, it's good.
Yeah, no, it's insane. Belly Up Sports draft show was fun, by the way. Even though it's after the draft by about a week now, go watch it if you haven't. If you're looking for some insight on your team's newest player, go check it out. It was all fun. Pretty good time. Kieran, did you watch it?
I did. Of course I did.
Okay.
Why?
That
That sounded
did you like? Did you like my analysis of Will Campbell?
Yeah, of course I did. Well, I mean, it's all biased, but you know.
Oh yeah, that's fair.
Took it with a grain of salt.
That's true. All right, draft's over. Time to move on to next college football season, where we don't ever talk about these players again until they come back and become a coach, or they do something bad.
Yeah.
Oh, did you hear about Henry Ruggs?
Well, I mean, apart from what I've already heard about him, or did he do something else?
The fact he's in jail.
Oh, well, yeah.
He's trading in prison for an NFL comeback.
No.
Yeah.
How? What?
Per Josh Jacobs on a podcast, he's training in prison for an NFL comeback when he gets out.
Oh, my. Okay. Good luck with that.
Someone will sign him. Shit, the Raiders might sign him back.
Yeah. Yeah, seriously.
The Chiefs, if they need a receiver, they'd sign him. Bill Belichick, prior to Aaron Hernandez, probably would have signed him. Yeah. Also, his teammate on the Raiders, Hunter Renfrow, back in football, took a year off because of ulcerative colitis, where he dropped to 150 pounds and had a fever for 7 straight days at one point. But he is making a comeback sign with the hometown Panthers this week. So love to see that comeback.
Yeah, that's huge.
It was shocking to people that he was out of football last year. And this makes sense that he was out because he still runs some of the crispest routes.
Yeah. He was on my fantasy team 2 years ago, and I tried to pick him up again because he did numbers. And I was like, where the fuck is he? And then I had to look up where he was. I was like, oh, he's not playing. Yikes.
Yeah. Great in PPR leagues.
Yeah.
But, all right, Kieran, it's time. The moment everyone's been waiting for. My screen is freaking out right now. The talk of Twitter is one gorilla versus 100 men. Who wins? And Kieran, do you give the men, the people, the humans, a chance?
No. Not even in the slightest. You would have to put up superhumans to even come close to a gorilla.
We'll get on that, but I'm going to read some stats from gorillas first.
Okay, go on.
And I'm going to put them into combine numbers as best I can.
All right.
Gorillas can run at speeds of 20 to 25 miles per hour. When you put that into a 40-yard dash, that's 3.3 seconds.
Oh, my God.
Gorillas can jump 9.5 feet. And I don't know if I think it's high. Like, they can jump 9.5 feet high.
Yeah.
I can't find
I'm assuming they're not, hitting a vertical or anything like that. I just assume that 9 feet means 9 feet.
Well, I didn't know if it was across. Like the long jump.
Oh, I see. I mean, regardless, it's terrifying.
Yeah, terrifying. I could not find a conversion to put how much they can lift into a bench press number, but they can lift 2 tons.
Yeah.
So I think they're smashing the NFL bench press record of 51 reps.
Yeah.
By Justin Ernest, who then went undrafted. I would have drafted him just because of that. But so yeah, it's terrifying. I give humans 0% chance.
Yeah.
But Kieran, for fun, we can either pick 5 each, and they can be repeats. Nah, no repeats. Or just kind of work on a list of, say, 5-10 names of people we'd want.
In the 100 men versus gorilla?
Yes.
Okay.
5 people that we think will turn the tides. Any personalities, players, former players, coaches, whatever.
Okay. So start us off, and maybe your will.
First off the board, Ndamukong Suh.
Good point. I will double up with. Oh my God, Aaron Donald.
That's a good one. Derrick Henry.
Good one. He didn't really play college. I can't really say that.
Who were you gonna say?
I was gonna say Jordan Mailata, but he never the right tackle for the Eagles, but he played rugby prior to his football career, so I can't say him. Do we need some speed in there for distraction?
Maybe.
Didn't Brock Lesnar play for college? Yep, Brock Lesnar.
All right, that's a good one. I'm trying to think of who else I would want, and there's obviously names we're forgetting here.
Oh, of course,
we are, but two boys trying to get through life. So,
yep.
I think Cam Newton
for the reach.
No, Tim Tebow. Give me Tim Tebow. We need God on our side. Scatterboo, a little undersized, but he might pull it off.
Yeah.
So we have, I have Sue, who's crazy. Derrick Henry, who's a freight train. Tim Tebow, so we have God on our side. Give me that killer instinct. Give me Aaron Hernandez.
Bringing a gun to this fight.
Yep.
Who else? Jadeveon Clowney.
That's a good one.
He's got the reach and the speed.
That's true, and the hit power. As my final pick, give me Reese Davis, but we have to have him listen to Mel Kiper speak for 10 hours before the fight. He might 1v1 the gorilla.
He might 1v1 him, yeah. That's a great point. My last guy, I'm going to go with an OG Patriot, Vince Wilfork.
It's a good one.
Yeah, big tank.
I might have to make a graphic of that and have people pick whose 5 is better for fighting a gorilla.
Oh, that's good.
I'll do that. I'll work on that tonight, or some point this weekend, probably. All right. Yeah. So humans have no chance, though.
Yeah. God, no.
Okay.
Was it really ever a debate?
Apparently, some of my friends were talking about it, and
no. The person who put that there was purely looking to start stuff on Twitter, and they did, but that is a legitimately ludicrous question.
Okay, this is one of my friends. I'm fairly confident if I had 3 months to train and get in shape, I could knock the gorilla out. Minimum 3 months. The more time, the better.
Get out.
Another one of my friends. I think people are largely overestimating the size/endurance of a singular gorilla in the 100 people versus gorilla thing.
Yeah.
I said they are 4 to 9 times stronger than the average person, can run 25 miles per hour, have good agility, and way better endurance. If you want to fight a gorilla, go for it.
Yeah, natural selection. Weed out a couple people.
There was also one of my friends spells gorilla like guerrilla warfare, and it pisses me off when I read it.
Not quite there, buddy.
It's so annoying. All right. After that, you want to talk some SEC history?
Of course.
All right, Kieran. So the SEC was founded in 1933 after groups from the SoCon joined or created their own conference. 3 charter members left in 1960. I forgot to do any research before this on this, or back to the Wikipedia. Additions in 1990 and 2012 grew to 14. Then Oklahoma brought it to 16 with Texas Oklahoma in 2024. SEC was the first D1 conference to have a championship game for football in 1992. Cool. Alabama won that.
Of course they did.
Yep. That's really it. Also, they did not like integration.
Shocker.
There's a whole page of their Wikipedia. So here's how their Wikipedia goes. Founding is one section.
Yeah.
13 members located west and south of the Appalachian Mountains. Left form their own conference. 10 of the 13 remain. Blah, blah, blah. Kind of going through that. Office was in Jackson, Mississippi until it went to Birmingham. Then Georgia Tech, Tulane left. And then the first conference to legalize athletic scholarships in 1935. And then the next section, racial integration.
Phenomenal.
They had an issue with the Pitt Panthers playing the Georgia Tech Yellow Jackets because Pitt was integrated. The racial integration section is about as long as the founding section.
And then that's not great. That's not a good start.
It's really not. First African-American to compete in the SEC was Stephen Martin, who walked onto the Tulane baseball team, and they were promptly kicked out of the conference. That's not why they left. But yeah. So yeah. Fun fact, you know why Alabama integrated?
Why?
Because Bear Bryant scheduled USC to get his ass kicked because they were integrated so he could then integrate the team.
And look where they are now.
It had nothing to do with the moral standing. That man just wanted to win football games.
That's what it takes. That's what it takes. Sorry. It just means more.
It just means more. I think that's what Red Auerbach was like too. People were like, oh, he was this great figure in civil rights. And I'm not saying it was important, but he's like, he had the first 5, like all black starting team in the NBA. He had the first black coach. I think he drafted the first black player. I think he just wanted to win. I don't think he cared about any of the other stuff.
Yeah.
He was like, oh, you're the best player I can get for this? Perfect. Oh, you're the best coach I have as an option? Perfect. I don't think he cared.
I mean, that's what equality means, right? It's like, I just want to win.
Yeah. So, all right.
Moving on.
Let's jump into the teams now. First off, again, based on records, not based on my personal opinions about any of these schools. First off, Texas joined in 2024. They have 0 SEC championships. They have a 953, 392, and 33 overall record. They have a 26-2 bowl record, 4 claim natties, 1963, 69, 70, and 2005, and 2 Heisman winners, Earl Campbell and Ricky Williams. Kiernan, who roots for Texas?
Anybody from... That's kind of a hard one because their recent success kind of ruins my my comment. But I guess anybody who just likes cattle.
That's true.
Which could be said for a lot of those teams in the SEC, but I'm going to make it for the Texans.
That's fair. People from Texas, and that's going to piss off some people from Texas. But there's a lot of people in Texas who just root for
the teams,
for the Longhorns, and don't like. They could have gone to Houston and TCU, but they grew up rooting for the Longhorns, so they're going to root for the Longhorns till the day they die.
Yeah, it's a generational thing. I feel like.
That's true. Georgia joined in 1933. They are a founding member. They have 15 SEC championships, 892, 432, and 54 overall record. 38-22-3 in bowl games, 4 national championships, 1942, 1980, 2021, in 2022. 2 Heisman Trophy winners, Frank Sinwich and Herschel Walker. People who like barking at children. And whoever happens to be in the Athens police holding cell for driving related crimes.
Okay. All right. So I had similar ones. Anybody who thinks bulldogs are cute and anybody who is currently speeding and technically breaking the law.
That's true. Also, anyone who took 9 years to get their bachelor's degree.
That too.
And then didn't even get it.
Yeah. Anybody who goes to a university as a student athlete. Heavy quotation marks there.
All right, next up, Tennessee. Joined in 1933. They have 13 SEC championships. They're 870, 415, and 53. They are 30-25 in bowl games. They have 6 national championships, 1938, 1940, 1950, 1951, 1967, and 1998. They have 0 Heisman Trophy winners. Kieran, who roots for Tennessee?
They are a more redneck West Virginia. Would that be applicable? Kind of tough sell there.
I think it's both.
Okay.
Like, I think it's 2 sides of the same coin, Your Honor.
Well, that's fair. Anybody who likes the song Rocky Top?
Yeah. Rocky Top kind of hits.
Yeah, it does.
I won't admit that during football season.
No, but it does slap. Let's see. Anybody who likes being the same, and this is going to be happening for a couple SEC teams. Maybe it's just UT. Anybody who likes the orange starbursts.
That's true. So. I hate that orange.
Mm-hmm.
It's so ugly.
Yeah.
And of course, this is a new StreamYard, so I don't have the videos teed up, and it's not letting me add it. I'll add it after. People who like throwing golf balls in Peyton Manning. It's also Tennessee's campus is so ugly.
Oh, is it?
They have not or at least when I went there, and now it's been over a decade since I've been there. They hadn't updated it since like the 70s.
Oh, so it's that worst type of architecture.
Yeah, like the external buildings were fine because they were built before, but the insides they have not.
Yeah, I gotcha.
Ugly as hell. Next up, Ole Miss joined in 1933, also a founding member. They have 6 SEC championships, 675, 547, and 35 overall, 26 and 15 in their school's history. 26-15 bowl games, excuse me. They have 3 claimed national titles, 1959, 1960, and 1962. And they have no Heisman Trophy winners. People are confused. They can't make a decision. Indecisive people who don't know what their mascot should be.
Anybody who likes an alternate jersey. I feel like those powder blue ones really take the kick. I would also say, did Tanner Mordecai play for?
No.
Or am I thinking SMU? I think he played for.
You're thinking of SMU. The colors are very, very identical. They're the same colors.
Yeah. So I was going to make a comment and saying anybody who likes weirdly named quarterbacks, but since Tanner Mordecai played for SMU, not Ole Miss, I really can't say that.
Jackson is spelled Jaxson.
Yeah, well, that's another one. Anybody who likes a uniquely named quarterback.
And nepotism. And also anyone who thinks what Bill Belichick's doing, that's just all right.
Yeah. Anybody who questions Lane Kiffin's tweets, or rather doesn't question Lane Kiffin's tweets.
It's reached points before. Next up, anyone else we're missing for Ole Miss?
No, we've got.
I have some other bad ones based on their history, but I could say that about all these schools. Next up, Alabama, founding member 1933. They have 30 SEC championships, 974, 341, and 43 in their school's history, 46, 29, and 3. They have 18 national championships, 1925, 1926, 1930, 1934, 1941, 1961, 1964. What are the other 70s ones? 1965, 1973, 78, 79, 92, 09, 11, 12, 15, 17, and 20. And they have 4 Heisman winners. Mark Ingram in 2009.
4?
You have, 4 Heisman Trophy winners.
Surely not.
Yeah,
surely 4. They have more than 4.
Nope, first one, Mark Ingram in 2009.
That's wild. That's wild to me that they don't have more than.
Yeah.
4. Really?
Yeah.
I would have guessed like as far back as it'll go, they had a Heisman winner. Wow, that's ridiculous. I just never thought about it.
You would think so, because it's also not like one of these schools that just popped up in the last like 20 years, like, oh, success.
Exactly.
Like 25. I can figure out which direction to go. 25. They've been good since they were founded. And they just didn't get Heisman winners, partially because it was all defense. Defense players do not win the Heisman. But Mark Ingram in 09, Derrick Henry in 15, Devontae Smith in 2020, and Bryce Young in 2021. Is it 21?
Yeah, I think so.
Okay. The worst person you have ever met. The most insufferable person that you've ever met in your life. But they're right.
Yeah, that's basically this podcast. Bandwagoners.
That's also what I was going to say.
Yeah. Anybody who's confused as to what the team is and what mascot they have.
I mean, they're consistent. They have an elephant. They've had Al forever. Or you just point out Crimson Tide and Big Al.
Yeah, it's like, I mean, you could say that for a bunch of different schools, but Alabama's is arguably the most prominent.
Okay, Ole Miss are the Rebels, and they have a shark.
All right, that's fair.
And before that, they had a bear.
So they like animals.
And before that, they had a caricature of a Confederate colonel.
All right, I digress.
That's why that one went away. Let's go through the rest. I'm trying to think of other ones. I don't even know what an Aggie is, so Texas A&M, they're confused. Their mascot is 12 male cheerleaders as well. Okay, the rest makes sense, I guess, except Auburn a little bit, but we'll get to that. All right. Anyone else for Alabama?
No, I think we got it.
Anti-environmentalists as well.
Yeah.
F them trees. All right, next up. Cox, South Carolina, joined in 1992. They have 0 SEC championships. They're 644, 616, and 44 in their team's history. 10-16. No Heismans, no claimed natties. Kieran, who roots for the Gamecocks?
People who like saying "Go Cox." I think all of us do. People who forget which USC is which.
People who know which USC is which, but are wrong.
Well, didn't we say last year that the team, the USC that wins that year, gets the title of the real USC until the following year?
That's true. Also,
I think South Carolina won more games this year. Actually, they play each other, right? This year or this past year? I thought they did.
I'm not sure.
Because I think that was the reason it came up. I think was that either they had the better record or they beat them head to head. I can't remember which one it was.
They have not played since 1983.
Okay, so it was a better record then. That's what it was.
But it looks like they will be playing in 2025 and 2026.
Perfect.
So, all right, who else? Sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt you.
Nope, that's good. Anybody who likes golf, because South Carolina, great for golf.
That's true. Hootie and the Blowfish fans. And Hootie and the Blowfish.
Oh, good one. Good one.
Columbia is also a beautiful city, by the way.
I've not been.
Yeah, I toured South Carolina. During the tour, like they put you in like a room and show stuff on a screen. They were just playing Hootie and the Blowfish the whole time.
That's funny.
Which checks out, but next up, Missouri joined in 2012. They have 0 SEC championships. Did make the game like their first season in the SEC. They are 721, 593, and 52 overall. 17-20 in bowl games. No wins, no natties, no Heismans. People who swear they're Southern and they're not.
That's good. People who are lying to themselves about being from the Midwest. which kind of is a piggybacking off yours, but still.
Yeah, it's kind of no man's land.
It is really no man's land. It's that awkward transition that you get between regions. They're humid enough to be, or part of their state is humid enough to be a southern state, and but it's flat as all hell, and all you grow is crops. So
yeah. Also, people who like pain.
Okay, why?
Missouri has not been good in a while. They were okay the last couple of years, but like they haven't been great. There's a lot
perpetual suffering.
Yeah, because, and here's why I think suffering is a better way to put it, because Vanderbilt and Mississippi State are also terrible, but they don't have any expectations. Missouri, for some reason, does every couple of years.
I see your point. Yeah.
Next up, Kentucky joined in 1933, also founding member, 2 SEC championships, 644, 647, and 44 overall, 11-10 in bowl games, 1 claimed national title in 1950, no Heisman Trophy winners, basketball and horse fans.
Yep. That's pretty much it.
And bourbon fans.
We kind of used that already for Louisville, but given that it's a different conference, I think.
Yeah.
We'll sneak it in.
We've used basketball fans multiple times.
Yeah, that's a good point.
Also, is it Derby week, Kieran?
It is. The 3rd.
Yeah. Okay.
I
don't care about horse racing.
I do. I'll only watch when it's on and things like that, but like it's so much fun, especially for both of us, because we've both been to Ireland. And have you ever gone in to like a pub on a like random Wednesday at like 1:30 and you see a bunch of old retired guys betting on a random horse race that week?
Probably.
It's great. My granddad does it literally every week. It's so fun. He's like, I got nothing better to do.
Here's my thing with the Kentucky Derby. I think it's fine to have on in the background and passing. I think it's so overblown. Not the race, the event itself. If I wanted to watch rich people get hammered, I'd spend time with my grandmother.
Okay. I get what you're saying.
So it's, I don't know, they flaunt your wealth, sure. But
yeah.
All right. Moving on from that.
Getting back onto the actual topic we're here for.
Texas A&M joined in 2012. They have 0 SEC championships. They are 785, 505, and 48 in their conference history, or in their team's history. 20 and 23 in bowl games. They have 4 claimed national titles, 1 in 1919, 1 in 1927, 1 in 1939, and 1 in whatever year the 2 dashes need to replace on the plaque they gave Jimbo Fisher. Heisman Trophy winners John David Crow in 1957 and Johnny Manziel in 2012.
People who think they are way more important than they actually are, or popular than they actually are.
Yeah. People who scream rent-free after you tell them they're the most annoying person you've ever met before walking away.
Arguably as bad as barking in children's faces.
Yes. Also, cults.
Cults. Definitely cults.
They relate. Next up, LSU. Joined in 1933. They have 10 SEC championships, an overall win-loss of 8-10, 438, and 47. They're 30, 24-1 in bowl games. 4 claimed natties, 1958, 2003, 2007, and 2019. 3 Heisman Trophy winners, Billy Cannon, Joe Burrow, and Jaden Daniels. People who like corn dogs and stealing from children's hospitals.
Okay. All right. I was going to be a bit kinder. And I was going to say, nope. All right. Fair enough. Moving on.
No, you can say something nice to them.
It's going to be difficult after that. Anybody who likes a good old Cajun seafood boil.
That's true. Also, people you have no idea what they're saying.
Oh, yeah. Anybody who speaks French.
Yeah. Weirdly, have more respect for LSU than the French.
That's a hard line to pull there, Kev.
I really don't like LSU, though. Next up, Florida. Joined in 1933. They have 8 SEC championships. They're 768, 450, and 40 overall, 25 and 24 in their bowl games. 3 claimed natties, 1996, 2006 2008. 3 Heisman Trophy winners: Steve Spurrier in 1966, Danny Werfel in 1996, and Tim Tebow in 2007. Have you ever had gator, Kieran?
Have I ever had gator?
Yeah, have you ever eaten alligator?
Oh, yes.
Okay. It's pretty good.
It is. It's wet chicken. That's how I would describe it.
Yeah, that's true. Who roots for the Gators?
Oh, that's a good one. Anybody who's conflicted as to whether they want to be really evil or really in tune with God. Because we've got both Aaron Hernandez and Tim Tebow. It's a very wishy-washy dichotomy.
That's true. People who turn a blind eye to crime, and also people who fake a heart attack when they get caught messing up. Have you ever seen Community?
Yeah, bits and pieces of it.
Chevy Chase character and Pierce Hawthorne, that's a Florida fan.
Yeah.
All right, moving on to the bottom 5. Arkansas joined in 1992. They have 0 SEC championships, a 743, 540, and 40 overall win-loss, 724-3 in bowl games. One claimed national title in 1964. I don't know what to say about Arkansas besides it's Arkansas.
Yeah, I got nothing.
People who tailgate at Walmart?
Yeah, but that's 90% of the South, in fairness.
No, okay, well, you're not wrong. No, I mean they like tailgate at Walmart, not they get their tailgate supplies from Walmart.
No, I realize.
Okay.
Okay, a larger percentage of the people tailgate in the Walmart in Arkansas than they do in the rest of the South.
Yeah.
Okay.
Peep has the most people who look like their mascot.
Oh, okay. Yeah. That works.
Yeah. Also, people who like getting into motorcycle accidents while
we had to bring that up somehow.
And then wearing the neck brace to the next press conference. All right. Moving on to Vanderbilt. Shockingly a founding member of the SEC, by the way, joined in 1933. They have 0 SEC championships. That's just depressing. 618, 665, and 50 in their team's history. 5-4-1 in bowl games. No claim natties, no Heisman Trophy winners, nerds.
And baseball players.
That's true. And rich kids whose parents went to Vanderbilt.
Yeah. Nepotism.
Yes.
Yeah.
Nobody else in Tennessee.
Correct.
Everyone else roots for the Bulls. All right. Next up, Oklahoma joined in 2024. No SEC championships. 950, 348, and 53 overall. 31, 26, and 1 in bowl games. 7 claimed national titles. 1950, 1955, 1956, 1974, 1975, 1985, and 2000. I don't have their Heisman Trophy winners. Oh, right. That's because there's a lot, so I have them on a separate sheet. Billy Vessels in 1952. Steve Owens in 1969. Billy Sims in 1978, Jason White in 2003, Sam Bradford in 2008, Baker Mayfield in 2017, and Kyler Murray in 2018. Kieran, who roots for Oklahoma?
Anybody who likes a Heisman winner or a team that produces the most Heisman winners.
That's true. Literally the entire state of Oklahoma.
Yep.
Outside of Oklahoma State's campus.
Correct.
There is nothing else in that state. So, all right.
Anybody who likes ranches?
That's true. I feel like the newcomers, I don't have as many mean things to say about.
Well, I mean, Texas was in the SEC beforehand, right? They left.
No.
No?
Nope.
Who am I thinking of? Somebody left and came back, I thought.
I don't think so.
I mean, a while ago. It's not like within the past 20 years.
I'm 99% sure no.
top quality podcasting right here.
The only previous members it has are Sewanee, Georgia Tech, and Tulane.
Okay. I guess I confused conferences or something. My bad.
We did talk about that a lot with the Big Ten, I think. I think Michigan did that. Yeah, they got kicked out and then came back.
Well, they would. Yeah.
So, all right, moving on to Auburn. Also a founding member, 8 SEC championships, 801, 473, and 47 in their program history. 24, 21, and 2 in bowl games. 2 claimed national titles, one in 1957, one in 2010. 3 Heisman Trophy winners, Pat Sullivan in 1971, Bo Jackson in 1985, and Scam Newton in 2010. People who like calling other fan bases delusional while talking about how Hugh Freeze is going to lead them to a national title.
So just anybody who's delusional then.
Yeah.
I will say this in Auburn's favor. Anybody who likes a really cool color scheme.
Nope.
Objectively.
No defending Auburn on this podcast.
Okay. Well, I'm going to give them this one.
Okay. Did you not realize I removed you?
Yeah, I did very briefly.
Okay. Yeah. No, I don't like Auburn. I hate Auburn. I hate most of these. I hate all of these schools except Alabama, actually.
That was a very quick, slippery slope. I hate Auburn. I hate all of these schools.
I hate all of them except Mississippi State and Vanderbilt.
Yeah.
Mississippi State because I love Mike Leach. Vanderbilt because I feel bad.
Yep.
Wait, no. I hate Vanderbilt too, actually.
Why?
I can't swear. I can't say that word on the show anymore, but
because they beat Alabama last year?
Because F them, that's why.
Yeah.
Bunch of nerds. Not my SEC. Final school, Mississippi State, joined in 1933, also a founding member, 1 SEC championship, 588, 619, and 39 overall, 15 and 11 in bowl games, no claimed national titles, no claimed Heisman Trophy winners. Mississippi State as an institution has 1 D1 championship, and that is baseball. And then they fired their baseball coach.
Oof.
Like this week. So, yeah, Kieran, who roots for Mississippi State?
This is a little bit of recency bias, so do bear with me. Anybody who enjoyed Mike Leach in the air raid offense, which is a lot of us.
I think I'm not going to say anything mean about Mississippi State out of my respect for Mike Leach.
Yep.
So, cool people root for Mississippi State.
Yes, they do.
And Pirates. Once a pirate, always a pirate. Pirate,
What?
I almost said private. Misspoke.
Yeah.
Once a pirate, always a pirate. I almost said it again. All right. There's our SEC history. Go through all the teams. Kieran's got some categories for these schools, though. Kieran, let's hear it.
All right, here we go. So first category is on and off, which just means they're either going to have an absolutely phenomenal year or even stretchy years, and then be completely useless for another stretchy years. Turn it back on, only to say, oh, we're back, but actually not at all. And this list include the newcomers of Texas and Oklahoma, LSU, and Auburn. I feel like all of those schools will either be phenomenal, barring a loss to Alabama or Georgia, but otherwise stink. So anyway, Group 2, we have eggs, so Ole Miss and Mississippi State. They're mostly rotten, but ever so occasionally they're at least fresh. Third category, we have trying their best, which is UK, Missouri, the real USC, and Texas A&M. The fourth group is called the School of Hard Knocks / Criminals, and this includes Alabama, Georgia, and Florida. And Alabama's only up there because of the poison trees. That's why I asked you, because I couldn't remember who it was.
That's fair.
And And then we have the final category, curve ruiners, which is a pun because it's Vandy. Curve as in baseball, they're the only good ones, and they ruin everybody else's good time with their GPA.
That is fair. That was a good one, Kieran.
Thank you.
I did like Alabama being featured on the School of Hard Knocks and or Criminals.
Yeah.
Great. You forgot the other category, the best program ever, and that's just Alabama, obviously.
Yeah, no, I've named it the SEC, the Scandal Eastern Conference.
Glass houses, Kieran.
Glass
houses.
Don't be the one to throw the first stone, I know.
Yeah, or Eddie. Just try not to throw stones. All right. There's your SEC history. Probably going to go through some lingering group of 5 schools we think are noteworthy and the independents next week. That's really it. Kieran, any final thoughts?
No, I think apart from the hilarity that is the Shedeur Sanders draft situation, I think we nailed it.
That's true. We did. So that's it. Everyone have a good, safe, fun rest of your week and weekend. Someone please get Bill Belichick the help he needs. I think I saw him blink twice during that interview. He's in danger.
Just start blinking more, Stone.
Yep. They're eating the dogs, Kieran, in Tuscaloosa.
They're eating the
dogs.
dogs.
You know that?
They were
They're
eating
the dogs.
Oh, a meth raccoon.
Yeah.
Just awful. There is nothing good about this. It's the worst possible scenario for the CFP, for the national championship.
Notre Dame is a mid-program with really good marketing.
And the Michigan players are going to look at that, and anybody who's committing to Michigan in the next years and just go, I want to beat them even more. Like, I wanted to beat them when I first came to this school. Recruits are going to see this.
And we're also sorry that you have to watch a Brian Kelly coach football team. We can only imagine how difficult that must be for you, knowing that you're not going to win a big game ever with him as your coach and that you're rooting for a child murderer.
This podcast has gone off to a really weird start, but I like it.
I love it, though. I'm a big fan.